Hello and welcome to Banya Chat. My name is Thomas Barnes. Welcome. Today we start our talks of Banya's Kindness Month. What is kindness? Kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate to fellow human beings and animals, and to everyone. The kindness is a quality and a trait that we look for at Banya in our staff, in our foster carers, and in all of our communities. Some examples of kindness, especially nowadays, is so important, especially with going into a second lockdown. Kindness is so important. Some examples of kindness recently: Marcus Rashford supporting children, feeding children, communities coming together for petitions to make petitions for the government and against the government to intervene, and communities coming together for these children, schools, houses, individuals to help them. I'm joined with Rosie today, and who is a former foster child and advocate for Banya. Anya, welcome, Rosie.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. It's lovely to have you.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah. So, Rosie, what examples of kindness have you been through or shown?
Well, I actually, when Resivo asked me to do this, I actually asked my 6-year-old what she thought kindness was. If I said to her, "What is kindness?" what would you say it was? And she said, "It's anything you do for somebody that makes them smile." And I thought, you can't say that any better. Anything that you do for someone to make them happy is an act of kindness. I have to kind of start with her, I think, actually. If you're asking me what things I've seen of kindness, my daughter gets pocket money every week, and she has 3 tins. And she has a tin for save, a tin for spend, and a tin for give. She has to put £1 in the save every week. She can put whatever she wants into the give and into the spend, and she can choose what she does with that give. And she decided that she was going to save up her money, and she was going to buy chocolates, boxes of chocolates for our neighbours.
Oh,
to me, I was so proud of her. I was so proud of the fact that she thought about doing that for somebody. When you mentioned about the schools, her year, the actual parents in her year, in year 2, we've all come together and we've all just bought just some random items, some potatoes, some tins, some pasta, and we've taken them into the school, and the head teacher has distributed them to the people, the families in the school that are maybe struggling. And I've seen people shopping for their neighbours, like you mentioned. It's there is a sense of community. I think sometimes, so often, we can focus on the negative side, all the shelves are emptied, everybody's ransacked and everything. But actually, when you look closer, there are acts of kindness around. We just need to look for them.
absolutely. And especially with, like you say, with the lockdown, we need to come together and show more kindness and spread kindness. And the fact that your school gave out to those families that needed it, and the fact that your daughter decided to buy chocolates for the neighbors, and the fact that her description of what kindness is, it just shows like how much of an influence you must have had on her on her kindness and her attitude to kindness.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. I mean, I've always said to Evie, especially with school, every day since she started reception, I've always said to her, try your hardest and be kind. That's all I can expect. We all hope that our children will do really well in school and get good grades and everything. But bottom line, she knows that even if she doesn't do amazing with her grades, if she's kind. When I went to parents' evening recently, I asked the teacher, Does she play with the children that are bullied? Does she play with the children that have no one to, to sit with? Does she help other children in class? Because that means a lot to me, as well as doing well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Growing up, I always made sure, I always wanted to, I always decide, I thought, I was always taught if I had to choose, if I had to be very, very good in school,
Yeah,
or just very, very good person, you should always be a good person.
definitely.
It will get you so much further than any grades ever will.
It does. It does. Do you know, I actually said to Evie the other day when she was doing some maths and she was really struggling with something, I said to her, do you know what? I wasn't very good at maths. I found that really difficult when I was young, and I didn't do very well in my tests. And yet, and I'm not just saying this, I genuinely said this to her, and now I have the job that I've always wanted. It doesn't matter what your grades are. Yes, do as well as you can, try your hardest, that's fine. But in the end, I genuinely believe that if there's something you really want to do with your life, if you are kind, your personality will speak for it. So you just have to show kindness. And now I'm in a job I absolutely love.
I know. I'm in the same position. Like, I wouldn't say that I did. I'm not very well versed in like social media or business or anything like that, but here I am, just like working the social media, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just personality, and show your personality, especially the kindness that you show other people, and that's what we need to teach children, and
Yeah,
especially both birth children and foster children. They all learn from example. So if we show kindness to them, they
yeah,
will reciprocate it.
definitely.
And
Kindness breeds kindness.
exactly. And this is what we need to express, not just with our children, but with everywhere.
Yeah, do you know, I completely agree with that. It was actually I was actually talking to Evie because she's been bullied quite recently, and I've said to her, be kind. It doesn't matter what somebody says to you, be kind. I remember being in foster care, and my foster parents used to say, kill them with kindness, because when you are kind to somebody, they can't do anything back to you. They can't respond to you being loving to them. And it's the same with, I mean, they imitate everything that we do. They watch everything that we do. And Evie will see me being kind to somebody, even if they're not really having the best attitude with me. And it's good to show children that actually we can get frustrated, we can get angry, but it's the way that we show that to other people. We don't get angry and shout in somebody's face. We can get annoyed and we can talk to them and say, this is something I'm struggling with, and I want to work with you to solve this problem. That's how you deal with it. And yeah, I do hope that me and my husband do show that to my daughter and everybody that we come across.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your daughter has been through some bullying recently. That shouldn't be tolerated at all. I mean, this is also Banya's anti-bullying month as well as kindness month, and and like you said, they go hand in hand. You fight bullying with kindness.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I used to get bullied. I was bullied a little bit when I was in school, and when you show kindness in return, they don't know how to they don't know how to respond to that, because they're expecting a negative reaction, so they can show a negative reaction in response.
Yeah.
But if you show a positive reaction, it also, like, if they call you a name for certain reason, for something, like, for example, I'm a very small person, and they used to pick on that. But when I said, yes, I am small, would you like to know why? And it could teach them something. It helped me embrace who I was and accept who I was.
Yeah.
And then they can't get to that.
No, it's true. It's true. You were in foster care, weren't you, when you were younger?
Yes, I was.
How do you think kindness was shown to you when you were in foster care?
Well, there's many different ways it was shown kindness. It was just the fact that I was welcomed into their home. is kindness.
Yeah.
The fact that I played alongside their children is kindness, because we were all about the same age when I came.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, they fed me, they looked after me, they took me to doctor's appointments, they always vouched for what I wanted. And like they would if I wasn't sure on something, they would take note on that, and they'd sit me down and they'd talk to me and they explain to me and they teach me, like, just say this is for you. And like if I felt like my voice wasn't being heard, like they would like, no, listen to Thomas.
Yeah.
And they would let me speak. And you grew up in foster care too. What was your experience of kindness?
I think, do you know what, you hit the nail on the head with the first thing when they opened the door and they had big smiles. To me, that's the first barrier down. First of all, showing kindness by having a child come to be in your home, to welcome them into your family. But to open the door and say, you are welcome here. This is your home. Doesn't matter how long you're here for, this is your home. And to show me around, that was really kind. But do you know, I've told this story a couple of times and everybody loves this story, and I actually really enjoy sharing it. My favourite chocolate in the world is cream eggs. I love cream eggs. And my foster dad would go shopping each week. Sometimes we would go with him, but if we didn't, he would always bring me back a cream egg. And it's the tiniest little thing, but yet I couldn't wait until he got back from shopping because I knew I would get that cream egg. And it wasn't a massive gesture, but it was something that made me feel like they really wanted me there, and they took the time to think about it. Just a little thought of a little cream egg, and I will never ever forget that as long as I live. And to my foster dad, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but to me, I'll never forget that. And sometimes it's the little things, not just the big things. It's, you know, it's positive words. It's saying, wow, you're so creative. I love that picture you've done. You know, I saw you playing with your brother. You are so kind to him. I love how you shared. You know, I love that you smiled at that person. I'm sure that that person is now going to go away and have a lovely day because of that lovely smile. And that's the thing. It's actions, but it's also positive words. And we can do that to everybody, to the people that we see in the street. Somebody was mentioning earlier, you know, that even in the supermarket, buy somebody's shopping, or go through a drive-through and buy a coffee for the person behind you. They would have a massive surprise when they went to pay. You know, and showing kindness to children, like you say, whether they're our own or whether they're ours in our hearts through fostering. And those acts of kindness can be shown every day.
And this is why it's one of the best traits, the best human traits, and one of the traits that we look for in foster carers is openness and kindness. And like you said your foster dad would go out and always, like when he went shopping, they'd always bring you back a cream egg.
Yeah.
And my foster mum used to do the same when she would go shopping. Like she would buy me back a packet of sweets or something like that. Like they would learn what sweets you liked, and they'd bring it would only be like a small pack of wine gums or something like that, or polos, but it would mean so much. And the fact that they'd bring it back not just for me, but they'd bring one for each foster child that was here. It would show that I am equal and I am thought of the same as them. And
I love that. Because I was treated the same as their own children, and their own children welcomed me, and I was their foster sister. So I love everything you've said. It's really good.
And like the kindness, as you say, like when you pass it on, it's almost contagious, isn't it?
Yeah, you try smiling at somebody down the street, they'll smile back.
I mean, I do that. Like I mean, obviously you can't do it now if you're wearing masks too much, but
no, that's interesting.
It is a bit of a shame. But before the whole masks, I would, if I was walking through town, I'd look at someone and I'd just give them a smile, and then they'd smile back, and I'd think, oh, I may have cheered them up today.
Yeah, I love that. It's fantastic. Do you know what? Going back to fostering though, and showing your foster children kindness, sometimes you don't always see that. Sometimes they can see a bigger picture that you can't see. And I know, since I've grown up and I've matured and I can see things from a parent's point of view, there's things that I actually thought was, mean, or they wouldn't let me do things, or they told me to do things a certain way. And at the time, I really struggled with that. And I was like, it's really unfair. And then as you get older and you get that maturity and you look back and you say, they were so kind. They put those rules in for a reason. They put those restrictions in because they actually cared about me. And sometimes it's that self-reflection, which I think we should always do, that self-reflection, especially with kindness, asking yourself, was I kind today? What did I do today to make somebody smile? Like my daughter said, what did you do to make somebody smile today? And I think that self-reflection is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I completely agree with you. Like, when you look back on someone, like, there's so many things about kindness that's so important. Like, kindness makes us feel good about ourselves. Like, you do something kind, it's like, oh, I did something kind today, and it makes us feel better about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I was having a bit of a bad day, but like, I went and I did some coloring with my brother, and it made his day, and he was so happy about it, and it made me feel good about myself. And kindness has its own benefits, because if you show happiness, then you live if you make other people's lives happier, you live a happier life, and happier lives are longer lives. So it's not just like a mental health thing, but it's also it has physical impacts.
Yeah.
And your impacts with everyone around you. And
Yeah.
everyone has positive reactions to kindness.
No, definitely. Yeah.
But like we said with the bullying, like, sometimes some people aren't kind to us, like, but we should always be kind to them.
Yeah. You don't know what that person's going through. There could be things going on in their lives that we just don't know about. And I read something a long time ago, and it said, treat everybody as if they're going through a personal battle. And it was something along those lines. And it's true. If you greet everybody and you talk to everybody like, they actually really need that kindness that day. I being bullied in school, I was bullied by this. It was, at the time, I thought she was a really horrible person, and what she was saying was really horrible. But as I grew up and I actually found out about things that she was going through in her own personal life, which came out, I understood. And people are fighting battles. And I think, anger is a way of releasing something that is inside you and maybe has been inside you for so long. So if somebody is unkind, being kind to them is probably exactly what they need at that time.
Even if they don't act like they want it,
yeah.
And the thing is, they may not receive kindness from anywhere else in their life.
Exactly.
Like, they may not understand it. So when you are kind to them, they don't know how to respond.
No.
And that can be quite confusing, but you just have to keep doing it. And eventually they'll start enjoying it, and they'll start liking it, and they'll start trusting it. Yeah. And that also is something that happens with foster kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because some foster children have come in from some really difficult situations, and they won't know how to respond to kindness because they probably hasn't been shown it. But like you say, when it's a continual thing that's shown to them, they learn to trust that person loves them and wants them there, and is showing kindness because they genuinely want to show the kindness. And then the barriers come down. It becomes a much more comfortable place, a much more happier place for them when they build that trust.
And
But
they feel
kindness,
safe.
yeah, absolutely safe, definitely. Yeah. But showing the kindness is the first step.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. It's been lovely talking to you.
It's been lovely speaking to you too. I've loved it.
Yeah, I love talking about it. It's such a lovely topic to talk about, like people being nice to each other, people being kind to each other. And
Definitely.
yeah, to everyone watching, try do something nice for someone today. Try be kind today. Show one act of kindness.
That's the challenge for today.
Absolutely. That's today's challenge. That's what I want you to do, is I want you to go. It doesn't have to be anyone you know. It could be someone you know. It could be someone you don't. Just say something nice to them. Pay them a compliment. Maybe buy them a treat, you know? Just
ring an elderly relative that you haven't spoken to for a while.
Absolutely. You could just give them a call. I'm sure it would absolutely make their day. But so thank you all for watching. It's been lovely having you here. And thank you, Rosie, for joining me.
No worries. Thank you.